So the shower base is installed and we're ready for the wall panels. The wall panels there's 3 wall panels, the back wall and then the 2 side wall panels. In many situations, the wall panels are just installed as one single wall panel from the base up to the desired height or all the way up to the ceiling if when needed. One thing we are going to do with this shower, we are going to have the mosaic tile inlay trim pieces in the walls. So we will cut the wall panels at a specific height and then install the trim, and then the other piece of the wall that we cut off will put on top of or above the trim. And when ordering the wall panels, if you do use the mosaic tile trim, we do allow you to specify where to cut the panels, and we'll send the panels in 2 pieces. Sometimes it is a little bit easier to cut the panels on site, because if you want it in a very specific location, sometimes it's hard to plan that out far in advance because of the variations in the floor and also the plumbing height. In this situation, we do want the mosaic tile trim to go right across the shower head, and we're going to locate the shower head right in the middle of the mosaic tile trim. So that's where I went ahead and ordered the wall panels as a single unit, and then we'll cut at just the right measurement to allow for the mosaic tile trim to go right through the shower head, right in the middle. So the first step is to go ahead and get our measurements and check our walls for plumb, make sure we're cutting that back wall correctly, and we'll bring the back wall in, do a quick dry fit, take it out, put the silicone on it, and then adhere it to the wall. So we measured and marked the panel for the cut, and we'll go ahead and start cutting here. Real quick on the cutting, Onyx can be cut with any wood cutting tools. So we took the measurement on where to cut the panel, so to place the mosaic tile trim at the right location. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the panel, and we'll have a little strip left over, and we'll put that little strip above the mosaic tile trim. So we'll cut this right here, and we'll be ready to install right after this. So after cutting the back panel and dry fitting it, make sure it fits, everything's okay there, the next step is going to be adhering the wall panel to the wall here. So we're going to use an Onyx collection adhesive silicone, and we have a few options, and depending on the situation, sometimes I'll put the silicone on the back of the panel and then bring the panel in and adhere it to the wall. Other times I'll put the silicone on the wall and then bring in the panel and stick it to the silicone already on the wall. In this case, because it's the back panel, sometimes I find it easier to put silicone on the wall first, and then we'll bring the panel in and stick it to the wall. A couple quick points: make sure the back of the panel is dust free. You can use a damp cloth to wipe that off, that's okay. And then also make sure the wall is dust free as well. You can prime it, you can leave it unprimed. One thing to keep in mind, be a little bit careful about finish paint. Sometimes a finish paint it doesn't stick to the silicone very well, so try to just leave the primer on preferably, and then the silicone will work really well in the primer. So when we go ahead and put the silicone on, I use circles, small circles of silicone. They end up creating a little suction cup, and that'll help the panel stay on the wall here. So I made a mark. This is the top of the panel, so I'll just go ahead and start right here, and we will start with the silicone mark. Okay. So we have the circles on, and real quickly we'll just run one line. I like to run one along the outside as well, just to make sure we adhere the panel fully, including right along the wall. So right now we've pressed the panel up. We want to make sure we have good contact over the entire wall. Sometimes we also recommend pulling the panel off the wall a little bit, just for a few seconds, to allow air to rush back in. It helps drive the speed time of the cure of the silicone, increase the tackiness. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the wall, just barely. You can hear the suction cups, those little circles, kind of popping as we take this off the wall. It's a very good sign. So now the back panel is on. Sometimes bracing is necessary, but what we found is that with the suction cups, the little circles, and as long as the panel is flat and it doesn't have any bows in it, when we adhere it to the wall, the panel should just be fine as is. It won't go anywhere. So after we install the back panel, we're going to go ahead and move on to the side panel here. Okay, so we cut the panel to height, and now we'll go ahead and scribe the edge of the panel. And the panels, we ordered the panels about 1 inch oversized, so we're extending past the front of the threshold there about 1 inch. So I have a 1 inch block, and we made this edge of the panel level. Made sure that was okay. What I'll do is I'll set this block right along that back panel and run it down the back panel, and then I'll run a pencil or pen mark right by it, and then that'll put the contour of the back wall onto the side of the panel here, the tape, because the back wall does have a little bit of a lean backwards. So go ahead and start that. Alright, so we just cut the panel to the scribe mark, and as you can see, it's a pretty good cut. That's, we try to keep the gap to about 1/16 of an inch, and that's about where it is at maximum, right on down the line. And in this particular case, what I will do here is I'll actually silicone the panel, the back of the panel, and then we'll bring the panel in and then adhere it to the wall. So we now have the panel back. We have silicone on the back of the panel, and we'll just set it right up against the wall. Also, we'll probably pull this back a little bit from the wall and then let a little air get back there, and then we'll press it back on. So for the shower control valve, I had marked where the shower control valve will be, and we'll do a pilot hole with just a regular wood cutting or steel cutting drill bit, either is fine, and then we'll run a jigsaw, use a jigsaw to cut out the rest of the hole. Okay, so we have the hole cut, we have it sized, we have the silicone on the back, and we'll just set the panel in place. Adhere it to the wall.